Pop the champagne, guys! We have our very first green ant babies. Yay! This here is our beautiful queen weaver ant. And last week we saw that she had laid a promising batch of eggs. And as we hoped, the eggs officially hatched this week. And she's now in the process of raising these larvae to adulthood. This generation of young is super critical because it's her first set of workers. Essentially the pioneers to her hopefully thriving weaver ant colony one day. But this process comes not without some dangers. Because what happened during the filming of this video caused a bit of a panic for our weaver ant queen, which turned her into a bit of a She-Hulk. And you guys will get to see just how much of a protective green warrior our weaver ant queen here truly is at this very stage of colony founding. Join us as we follow how a weaver ant queen starts her own colony, from just a batch of eggs to eventually a thriving colony of ants that live in the trees. Welcome to the AntsCanada Ant Channel. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Welcome to the AC family. Enjoy! AC family, now before we continue on meeting our queen's new larval arrivals, we have something very important to do first. It's time for a mass AC family vote. Last week, I asked you guys to help me decide on an official name for our beautiful green queen ant here. And a lot of you guys gave some amazing name suggestions. It was super hard to narrow my choices down to just 5 for all of us to vote on. But with the help and approval of your AC Senate, the highly dignified members of this channel who are given such perks as sneak peeks and pre-voting, whose different colored badges appear beside their screen names in the comments, and if you see them, simply say bow to pay respects, have helped me come up with an official top 5 names to give to Her Majesty. The names we picked are listed in separate posts under the pinned comment of this video. So to vote, you simply need to review the first 5 posts under the pinned comment of this video and give a thumbs up on the post corresponding with the name or names that you like the most. Whichever name gets the most likes by next week's episode will be our weaver ant queen's official name. They are all worthy names, and I can't wait to see what name we choose for her, because she surely deserves one at this point, and has grown quite popular on this channel so far. Now, I was hoping to learn more about our weaver ant queen's personality this week, as I figured it might help us with determining a name. And little did I know, when I began to shoot her and her babies, we were about to see a glimmer of her personality shine through while I was filming the young. So now, let's meet our new ant babies, shall we? So it's been about 2 weeks now that our queen has not moved from the spot. She stands protectively over her brood. She now has about 7 eggs, 5 young larvae, and about 10 larger larvae. If you're new to weaver ants, you guys will find out why these larvae are much different from the larvae of most regular ant species in a sec. But have a look at their bellies. Inside you can see some of them are filled with a sort of yellowish fluid. This is the nutritious soup the queen has been manufacturing inside her body and regurgitating out to feed the larvae. The material from the soup are drawn from muscle tissues in her back, which used to power her wings, used during her nuptial flight when she mated. Now, one of you guys asked a great question in last week's episode, asking how is she able to lay eggs if there was no male around? So if you're new to ants, unlike in termites where a king and queen raise a termite colony together for life, in ants, the male dies before the eggs are born. During the queen's nuptial flight, male ants who are also born with wings join the clouds of female virgin queens and mate with them, after which the males die, and the now pregnant queen ants drop to the ground and break off their wings. You can actually see her wing scars there. And it's how we ant keepers identify queen ants when hunting for them during nuptial flight season every year. Now here's how ants are awesome when it comes to these queens and egg laying. It only takes that one mating event with one or more males during nuptial flight to allow the queen to lay fertilized eggs for the rest of her life, for up to 30 years in some ant species. The secret is she keeps the sperm viable in a special organ in her body called a spermatheca, and simply uses the sperm as needed. Kind of like an internal sperm bank. Pretty amazing, right? So our queen here has all she needs to continue laying eggs for years and years to continually grow her colony. But as mentioned, this particular generation of ants is special. In fact, this generation of ants is the most critical of any ants she'll ever give birth to. These ants will become what are called the nanitics, the pioneering members of the colony. It is crucial that these nanitics survive, because if she fails to raise these ants to adulthood, she and her future colony don't have a chance. You see, the queen doesn't have an unlimited supply of this nutritious soup she's been feeding them, and she herself hasn't eaten a proper meal since she left her birth colony before nuptial flight. She's starving and racing to raise these nanitics to adulthood so they can help forage for food. What's even more special about these nanitic larvae, which is different from most other ants, is the queen is waiting for the oldest larvae to pupate, because once they reach pupating age, they will then produce the life-giving material that is the glue to weaver ant life: silk. So if you're new to weaver ants, these ants don't nest in soil like most other ants, but rather they build these incredible leaf basket nests in the trees or bushes. I've talked about it in our last episode, but in short, they use the silk produced by their larvae to glue leaves they've pulled together to make these leaf basket nests. We've seen this process in a mature weaver ant colony we had in the past called the Emerald Empire. It's what gives these weaver ants their name, as they appear to weave the leaves together. At some point in the distant evolution of this species, these ants stopped using silk to create cocoons and instead started using it to build their nests. And so this queen here is waiting for her oldest larva to reach the pupation stage, because it's at this time when she will use the eldest larva's silk to create for her a protective web chamber for her and her brood. Before then though, she and her young need to be exposed to the outside world. A very dangerous position to be. In the wild, she would have to be on an open leaf doing all of this. Pretty crazy considering most other ant species create sealed off protective chambers underground right at the get-go. Not for these weaver ants though, which makes her a true warrior. And guys, now you're going to witness how much of a protective warrior she really is. Something isn't right, and she senses it. Completely unexpectedly, the lights I was using to film her were attracting visitors. A male ant of some diminutive species had appeared, and the queen was watching it like a hawk through the plastic. So one thing that I love about weaver ants is that their vision is quite sharp. Not all ants have good vision, but weaver ants can see very well. Perhaps due to needing good eyesight for the perilous life within the trees. Also appearing on the scene, a small species of termite alate. Both insects engaging in their respective nuptial flights. But though they might be looking forward to a great night, our weaver ant queen is 100% hyper-focused on them. She needs to guard her young, because for her, it's a situation of life or death. Her jaws are wide open as she does a death stare at the outside insects flying around her home. In addition to a powerful bite, she is also equipped with the ability to spray some formic acid if she needs to. She stands over her young, willing to risk her life for them. She prepares to lunge forward at the flying insects she sees through the plastic. What a brave warrior our queen is! So it was at this time that I decided to help Her Majesty out, and got rid of the ant and termite alates. Okay, truth is, I squished them and fed them to the blades of Midas. Hey, they were causing our weaver ant queen alarm. We must protect her sanity at all costs. When she realized the peripheral insects and potential threats to her future colony were gone, she began to relax and closed her jaws. Watching our queen enter complete warrior mode was pretty awesome. It's arguable whether or not animals, and particularly insects, experience the emotion of love. But as we've seen on many occasions, we often get to see scenes that almost suggest that they do. Or at least an ant version of love. What do you guys think? This queen was willing to risk her life for her young, which I find to be a pretty beautiful thing. So it seems the oldest larva has a few more days still before it reaches the silk production stage. So we'll have to wait a bit longer to see our beloved weaver ant queen here constructing her royal web chamber. But nevertheless, witnessing our queen's journey as she raises her young and founds a thriving ant colony is nothing short of spectacular. It's actually why I love ant keeping so much. We get a special peek into the secret lives of these ants that are lived out every day in the wild, but that we humans usually wouldn't get to see. And actually, the process of colony founding for weaver ants is a bit of a mystery to scientists. We actually don't know the exact details of how these weaver ant colonies get started. We essentially have made educated guesses as to how weaver ant colonies start, but weaver ants in particular are notoriously hard to get started in captivity, that not a lot of information is known about their founding stage, which is why this new weaver ant series we are all following will be valuable to science, as it will give us, AC family, a first-hand and amazing peek into the weaver ant colony founding process and unravel Mother Nature's weaver ant secrets. And if any of you out there have been wanting to get into ant keeping with me, I've got some great news for you. Did you know that it's anting season in the Northern Hemisphere, and you don't even need to leave your home to start an ant colony? You can catch pregnant queen ants from the safety of your own backyard, balcony, or open window starting this month. Be sure to visit AntsCanada.com for all your ant keeping and collecting gear shipped to you in a special package from our ant-loving facility in the USA, so you can get the most out of your ant keeping experience. We ship worldwide and also offer full email support if you need our help. We also have a helpful forum and ant colony trading marketplace on the site. Visit AntsCanada.com today. Now, before we say goodbye, I wanted to quickly mention that I'm actually flying to the US this summer to hopefully meet you guys in person and talk about ants. I'm actually quite thrilled because I'll be part of an event called Animal Con, taking place in Orlando, Florida from August 26th to 28th. It's this super cool expo which will be just full of all of your favorite animal YouTube creators, all in one place. So guys, mark your calendars and visit the Animal Con website I'll place in the description and get your tickets now. I can't wait to meet you, AC family, in person and hear all about your awesome ant stories and colonies. I'll also be selling our AC Ant Farm starter kits, doing a presentation on how to get started on ant keeping, and will be participating in a Q&A. Can't wait to see you guys there. So as for our beloved queen and her growing young, it's an understatement to say how excited I am to see what's up ahead. Again guys, don't forget to vote for an official name for her, and any day now, I'm certain she'll be constructing her protective web chamber. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet to join our ever-growing AC family and to follow and be part of this groundbreaking and intriguing weaver ant journey we've found ourselves embarking on. It's the start of a brand new weaver ant series on the channel, and I'm completely honored to experience it all with you. And for those of you who just love ant watching, I've left a hidden cookie for you here if you just want to continue watching more footage of our royal queen and her babies to the sounds of some relaxing music. Thank you all for watching and supporting the ants. It's ant love forever.